Hi guys, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be doing control flow logic. I'm gonna split this video up into two different videos. It's gonna be the first one's gonna be just like almost like a switch, and I'll show like not an actual switch statement, um, but like an actual basically if something do something else do something else. That's basically what it's gonna be. Then in the other video, I'm going to go through how to actually do the loops, and then I'm going to try to put everything together that we've learned so far. So in this video, I just want to um, create a couple variables. So let's just say let's initialize them. And in the other video, I forgot to mention the actual string type. The string type is simply just what you saw earlier. So just basically just a string of characters. So like GHI and so on and so forth. Just a string of characters. That's called a string. Each one of these is a character. So that's like those other two types as well. So I'm just going to initialize this to an empty string. And then I'm going to say, so let's just do this. We want to check to see if the user's favorite food is pizza or something else. So we can simply do once what we did here again. So we can do um, food is equal to input. And then we can say, uh, what is your favorite food? And then I want to do if. So just the word if. Food equals. And so you might be wondering, why are we doing a double equals? Well, that's because when we use this equals right here, this is when we're assigning something to a variable. So we can't use this here because we're checking for a condition. So this here basically returns a 1 or 0, meaning true or false, which is another type that I also forgot to mention, which is called a Boolean. And that's just true or false like that. That's all that does there. So what we want to do is, if food is equal to pizza colon, and this is where we actually want to run our logic. So here I can say if food is equal to pizza, I can print a message. And actually, let's put the print statement here so that we don't have to do it twice. You'll see why in a minute. So I'm gonna print a message here. I'm just gonna say um, um, I like pizza too. And then I'm gonna say, so let's back out. Let's say else, no condition because it's just anything else. I'm gonna say, well, my favorite is pizza. So if we run this and we type in pizza, I like pizza too. Now if we run this again and we type in anything else, well, my favorite is pizza. So you can see how powerful this is. I mean, using if else's, you can do like you can make all kinds of dynamic programs and stuff, you know. So now what I want to do is show you something really quick. So let me just say, well, I typed in pizza here, right? So I should say it should print I like pizza too. It doesn't. Why is that? Well, because this is case sensitive. So what we actually have to do is, before we put food in here, we have to do something called um, we have to run a method on this. Now this is of type string, meaning this is a string method. So and basically this means that this method only works on strings. So once we define it as a string, then we can run this method. That's why I initialized it here. If you don't initialize it, like the initial type for a number is 0, for a float is like 0.0, or a double. But you have to have like a type there in order to use certain methods on it. So an empty string is like that. And you also have like not no, I think you have null. But that's like basically just means not defined pretty much. But what I want to do here is this. So I want to say empty string. Now, when I come back here, I want to say food dot lower. So what that's going to do is it's going to actually make it lower. So I'll just print food here, and then I'll print food here as well as another line just to show you. So if we run this and I say pizza, you can see it's pizza, and then wait, what just happened? Oh, you know what? I probably have to actually set it equal. Let's try that again. There we go. So this returns a lower version of it. So you have to set it equal to itself in order to actually receive that value that it created. Because this function or method returns a value. So basically you can see here it was a capital letter because that's what we typed in. But we made it lowercase so it'll work with our logic here, our control flow logic. So we made it lowercase, and then we actually ran it, and you can see we get I like pizza too, right? So you want to make sure you take that into account when doing this kind of stuff. You also can do things like trim, which basically just trims off any extra space. So basically, like if I had let's see here. So like if I just said pizza and then I was like, oops, sorry about that. If I had like said pizza and I did this, blah 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 blah. So I basically put all these different like characters here. That's called white space. And basically, if you have these extra characters here, it'll actually read that. Now you don't want to read this because you'll never know how many extra characters a user might accidentally type, and you want to be able to account for every type of scenario or case. So what you would do is you would also trim it to get rid of that, to remove it. And so if you do a trim on it, no matter what the user types in, like for instance, if we don't do this trim here, let's just comment this out. And let's just say, you can see, well, my fave is pizza because we put that extra white space there, and so it couldn't read it. You won't see it there, but it's there, right? It's a silent killer, right? So basically, if I put trim here, now what'll happen? Let me just run this here. And I'll get into string methods more, just stuff to do with strings in a later video. And you can see, oh wait. String object has no attribute trim. Oh, you know what? Shoot, this is called, now if we run this here again, you can see string object has no attribute because they know that, or the compiler for Python knows this is a string because we initialized it and we received input here. You don't have to initialize if you're going to receive input. But for instance, if you're concatenating or something like plus equals like I showed you earlier, then you want to definitely initialize it first. So we'll do pizza space 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 space. And then you can see, oh wait. Oh, my bad. I put split here. This should be strip. Sorry about that. Let's run this one more time. Okay, pizza, space, 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 and you can see I like pizza too, so it works. So it removed the white space. You also have R strip, which removes it from the right side. So if there's white space on the right side, you want to remove only. Then left strip like that as well. So that's how that will work. So we have our if else statement here. Now there's another thing we can actually do. So we can say, so I want to make this lower again, and then I also want to say food is equal to, just so that we can like take care of some more validation for this, and we can get rid of this now that we know how it works. So we can get rid of these just to make it look a little bit neater. And so now I want to do another thing. So we can have more than one basically case here. Now there's something called a switch statement, but Python doesn't have switch statements. Now a switch statement is similar to this, that what I'm about to show you. If you've seen my other videos, you know what a switch statement is, but in here, a switch statement is something where you just have multiple cases that you want to check, and it'll just basically, the first one that's right, it'll actually execute, and then it'll leave it, it'll leave the code block pretty much. Everything from the if to the else is a code block. So this whole thing here is a code block. So if we do, so what we want to do is, in other languages it would be else if, which also I think works here, but you can use elif, and then inside of here you want to actually do another condition. You never want to put a condition here inside of the else because it won't work. Else is just for anything else. It's not supposed to have a condition like, for instance, food is equal to something. You're never supposed to put a condition here. If you want to have another condition after the if, you want to use elif, which stands for else if. And so we can say food is equal to steak, and I could just simply say put some barbecue on that. So we just put something like that. And now if I run this, wait, oh, I forgot my other quotation mark here. Sorry about that. Now if I run this, you can see I type in steak, put some barbecue on that. So we can do as many as we want here. And so this is really powerful here. You can make really dynamic programs with this, like I said. And so this is just how you do control flow here. Now in the next video, I'm going to show you loops, and then after that, I'm going to basically first I'm gonna tell you what the challenge is in the next video to see if you can make it yourself, and then I'm going to actually make it and to show you how to do it. So thanks for watching, and see you later.